Mike Tyson and Jake Paul were set for a highly anticipated boxing match. We all are eager, with excitement building as the days went by. Tyson, a boxing legend, was expected to face Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer. Both brought their unique personalities and backgrounds to the ring, which made the bout an event many wanted to witness. But things took a sharp turn after Paul's actions, and words crossed the line. Jake Paul has always used trash talk to build hype for his fights. It's not uncommon in boxing or any sport for athletes to taunt each other before a big match. Trash talk is meant to spark interest, fuel the rivalry, and entertain the audience. But Paul took it too far. Instead of sticking to the usual banter about boxing skills or personal strength, Paul made offensive remarks about Tyson's family. This marked a shift from professional trash talk to personal attacks. The tension between Tyson and Paul started building after several exchanges of words. But the situation reached a breaking point when Paul brought Tyson's family, specifically his late daughter Exodus, into the conversation. Tyson's daughter, Exodus, tragically passed away in 2009 when she was only 4 years old. The loss of a child is an unimaginable pain for any parent. For Tyson, this was one of the most difficult moments in his life. He has spoken about the emotional and spiritual toll her death took on him. To this day, it is a topic that remains very sensitive for him. Paul, however, did not show any regard for this. His comments went beyond what anyone would consider acceptable, even in the world of competitive sports. Instead of focusing on the fight or their rivalry, Paul decided to exploit Tyson's personal tragedy. This was a mistake that ultimately cost him the match. Tyson, who had initially agreed to fight Paul, decided to pull out of the bout after Paul's remarks. This decision was not just about canceling a fight, but was a statement about respecting boundaries, especially when it comes to family. Tyson's response to Paul's words showed that he values respect and decency over any spectacle or event. He made it clear that there are limits to what is acceptable, even in the heat of competition. His decision to cancel the fight was not just about his personal feelings, but also about setting a standard for behavior in professional sports. While trash talk may be part of the game, attacking someone's family, especially a deceased child, is crossing a line that should never be crossed. The boxing world was shocked by Tyson's decision to cancel the fight. This bout was supposed to be one of the biggest events of the year. Fans had already bought tickets, bets were being placed, and the media was covering every detail leading up to the match. But all of that excitement was replaced by disappointment and frustration after Tyson's announcement. The fight that was once considered the highlight of the year was now cancelled because of Paul's inability to control his words. Paul's approach to building hype for the fight was reckless. While he may have believed that controversy and outrageous remarks would draw more attention, he failed to recognize the consequences of his actions. In his attempt to create a buzz, he crossed a line that should have never been crossed. His comments about Tyson's daughter were not just disrespectful, but also hurtful on a deeply personal level. This was not the type of behavior that fans or professionals in the boxing community could overlook. Tyson's decision to cancel the fight sends a powerful message about the importance of respect in sports. While competition may be fierce, there are certain boundaries that should never be crossed. Family, especially the loss of a loved one, is one of those boundaries. By pulling out of the fight, Tyson demonstrated that there are more important things than winning or putting on a show. His choice shows his values and his belief in upholding integrity, both in and out of the ring. Jake Paul's behavior throughout the lead up to the fight was focused on creating controversy. He has built much of his career on being provocative and stirring up drama. This approach may have worked in the past, but in this case, it backfired in a major way. Paul's remarks about Tyson's family were not just a bad PR move, but a serious misstep that cost him the biggest fight of his career. What was supposed to be a landmark moment for Paul turned into a lost opportunity because he failed to recognize the limits of what is acceptable in trash talk. The fallout from Paul's comments goes beyond just the cancelled fight. Fans, pundits, and even other athletes have criticized his behavior. The general consensus is that Paul went too far and that his remarks were not just in poor taste, but outright offensive. While Paul has always been known for pushing boundaries, this time he crossed a line that has serious consequences. Tyson, on the other hand, has shown that he is not willing to engage in this type of behavior. His decision to cancel the fight is a show-in of his belief in maintaining a certain level of respect and dignity. Even in the world of professional boxing, Tyson has experienced many ups and downs in his life, both inside and outside of the ring. He has dealt with personal struggles, but his family has always been a source of support and strength for him. When Paul attacked that, he crossed a line that Tyson could not ignore. The cancellation of the fight is a reminder of the importance of respect in sports. While trash talk may be part of the game, there are certain lines that should never be crossed. Family, especially the loss of a child, is one of those lines. Tyson's decision to cancel the fight serves as a clear message to Paul and anyone else who thinks that pushing personal boundaries is a good way to build hype. There are consequences for going too far, and Paul is now facing those consequences. What was supposed to be one of the biggest fights of the year has now turned into a lesson in respect. Tyson's choice to walk away from the fight shows that he values integrity and decency over any spectacle or payday. Fans may be disappointed by the cancellation, but many also understand and support Tyson's decision. The fight may be off, but the message Tyson sent will be remembered for a long time. For Jake Paul, this was more than just another fight. It was a chance for him to show the world that he could stand in the ring with someone like Mike Tyson. Jake Paul's unconventional boxing style has been a topic of discussion since he entered the sport. His approach is different from many traditional boxers, and this could be both an advantage and a disadvantage against someone like Mike Tyson. Paul relies on his youth, height, and reach, which allows him to keep his opponents at a distance and land long-range punches. But fighting Tyson is a completely different challenge. Mike Tyson is known for his unmatched power and explosive combinations. He was once considered the most feared man in boxing because of how quickly he could end a fight with just one punch. Tyson's aggressive style and his ability to get inside his opponent's defense would be a huge challenge for Jake Paul. Tyson likes to close the gap quickly, and once he's inside, he throws devastating hooks and uppercuts. Paul would need to use his footwork and his reach advantage to keep Tyson from getting too close. But this is easier said than done. Tyson is known for his speed and ability to slip punches. He uses his head movement to avoid shots, and he can counter with hard punches from awkward angles. For Paul to navigate Tyson's pressure, he would have to constantly move and jab. He could not afford to stand still, because Tyson would immediately rush in and start throwing punches. Paul would need to use his reach to his advantage and keep Tyson at the end of his jab. But Tyson's speed and power could overwhelm Paul quickly, especially if Paul hesitates or makes mistakes. Tyson's experience also plays a big part. He has fought many different kinds of opponents, and he knows how to adapt to various styles. Paul's lack of experience against high-level competition would be a serious disadvantage in this matchup. Another key factor would be Paul's conditioning. Tyson applies constant pressure, and if Paul does not have the stamina to keep moving and throwing punches, he would likely get trapped in the later rounds. Tyson could take advantage of any signs of fatigue and land powerful combinations. While Paul has the youth, height, and reach, Tyson's power and aggression are on a completely different level. Paul would need to fight a near-perfect fight to avoid getting caught by one of Tyson's explosive punches. So, what do you think about this? Don't forget to comment down your thoughts on this. And while you're down there, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well.